Okay, we're going to do another quick and dirty video for the Service Manager control panel. And what we want to take a look at here right now is order headers. We've looked at the overview of order entry in the system, and we want to take a little more in-depth look at the order header area. As you see, we have several buttons. You can either click the button with the mouse, or you can hold the Alt key down and tap the letter in red. So to print a service work order, for example, I would hold the Alt key down and tap R to give me a service ticket, and the same with the others, of course. So we have a few commands along the top here. We can save this order, we can print a service type work order, we can print an installation type work order, a little different format. We can create an invoice from this order, although that's more efficiently done from a single screen where you can create all the invoices for a day. And then we can clone this order, which would mean to copy it into a new order. You can see the screen's divided up into different colored sections. In this top left section, we'll take a look there first. You have your price levels. The system has 6 price levels for every price list. And of course you can have as many price lists as you want. So you can have a price list for one customer, another list for another customer. Within that list, depending on the level, you can have as many as 6 different prices for an item. Here are your terms, your tax, and unlike the old system, the tax is now in a single drop-down list. This, of course, is for a PO number from a customer. This is where you assign a salesperson. These are your sales groups. If you have a salesperson, for example, who works out of 2 different offices and you want to keep those sales separate somehow for reporting and so on, you can have different sales groups, one for each office. These are the 4 basic service types in the Service Manager control panel. They're listed here. You have to choose one of those. This is a default item location, default item category. What these really do is they determine what will be the defaults as you add items to the order. That's really all they do. There's no real processing that happens on these fields. But if you set this, for example, here to location 3 and this to default item category CS2, every item that I add to this order afterwards will by default come from location 3 and be assigned the revenue and expense category of CS2, which in this case is commercial service. There's the order. This is the order date, and of course we have our date picker here. The expected ship date, and the type of order, either active or standing. This is not a quote, obviously, so it's either an active or a standing order. Standing orders may be things like preventive maintenance and things like that that are recurring types of orders. Okay, in the bill to area, pretty self-explanatory. This is drawn from the customer information. The ship to, if the customer does have multiple ship tos, in this case we've set this up so we've got a customer with a couple ship tos. If we click the different ones, it populates the address in here. You've also got the ability, if you have typed in the bill to, maybe for a residential customer that you want to do a one-time order for, you can click this button, use bill to, and it will copy the bill to information into the ship to. Come down a little bit. This is a drop down for your marketing sources. So what you will do in a system is build different sources for your marketing in a list, and you can identify each order as having come from that particular marketing source. There are reports and pie charts and so on in the system that will show you where your orders are coming from. And you can associate it with the actual billing, so you can tell really where your revenue is coming from based on your sources of your orders. This will be the completed date when the order is completed. Estimated number of hours. This is used for job cost purposes, so that you can tell if a job ran over or not. Requisition due date. If there's a certain day of the month, say the 5th, you can record it there and keep track of that, so you make sure you get your invoices in on time. If it's wage scale, if it's subject to Davis-Bacon, this checkbox gets checked. And if there are any notes corresponding to the wage scale information, they go in there. Base contract amount, you wouldn't normally use this on service, but for a contract, it's helpful to put in the contract amount, and then you have an idea when you've billed it all, and the system will tell you those kinds of things. Total markup can go in here. Truck days, it's a labor unit based on the number of truck days that you use. 1 or 2 men in a truck, for example. And then for the Davis-Bacon information, if you have particular carpenter's rates, labor rates, electrician rates, and so on that have to be recorded for this order, they can be put in there. Warranty expiration, this is where you'll record when the warranty was actually, when it began to take effect, probably after the final installation. So down here at the bottom we have our 4 sets of notes in the green. There are the internal notes, which stay with the order, which don't appear on any paperwork. The ticket notes, which will appear on your work orders. There are the invoice notes here that will appear on the customer's invoice, and then this box is dedicated normally to directions. Now, there's also a convenience phrase capability in the system, so if you build convenience phrases in your system, you can pick those from a list and just very quickly put them in the different boxes. So we're going to show that right now. If I click on Show Convenience Phrases, I get a list of those convenience phrases we built into the system. And notice that right here it tells us those selected phrases will be inserted into the internal notes. That's the one that's checked. If I want these phrases to go into the ticket notes, for example, I click here, and that will put the phrases in this box when I choose the phrases. I'm going to do them in the internal notes right now, and that's this box here. And I have this is a Chrome browser, I have the capability in here to stretch out the box a little bit so we can get a better look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check a few things. Curtain down, door not operating, cable broken off, and you'll notice that up in here they're added as I click those. So as I click them, they're added. Also, if I need to put one in the middle, I can actually put my cursor there and I can put this damaged sections in that spot right there. So it will fill in wherever the cursor is, and otherwise it goes to the end of the list and keeps adding from there. And the same with the other boxes. If I want to put in the ticket notes, over here in my ticket notes, shrink this back, then whatever convenience phrases I click will go into the ticket notes instead. So that's a basic overview of the order header screen, and we'll take a look at the other screens in a different video.